In life, I thought I'd figured out how to make money. Years later, I changed my mind more and more, seeing what actually worked. I had many preconceptions, but practice showed me that the third method I'll explain today works like a charm. I used to think that to make money, you had to do one of two things. The first was bringing something to the market that didn't exist. Being geniuses, being creators, being people capable of spotting a gap in the market, doing in-depth market research, analyzing, observing, being so immersed in an industry that you realize there's a hole in that market. The second is improving something that already existed. And the third, I'll explain it halfway through or at the end of this video because it's actually what's making more people in the world free, wealthy, happy, and generally using a business model that, in my view, and not just mine, is the smartest. Follow me until the end. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Guys, meanwhile, I'll remind you that if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit subscribe below because it helps me out, and also leave a comment with some honest, concrete feedback and even ideas for future content. I want us to analyze the first two for a moment. I always thought that to make a lot of money, it was a preconception of mine when I was young. I thought about becoming a startup founder, an inventor, an entrepreneur who would create the next Airbnb, the next Amazon, the next Facebook. And then over the years, I realized that's actually the hardest path because today's world is incredibly competitive and highly connected. So an invention you could once take from the UK and bring to Italy now reaches Italy on its own. Today, the world is interconnected. Companies use franchising, information is everywhere, and anyone can do a quick search to find the best product. Maybe 50 years ago, you made product X in Italy, while in France there was product Y that worked even better, but 50, 70, or 80 years ago, that French product wouldn't reach Italy. So you could still grow even with a slightly inferior product. Today's competitive world is ruthless. And for someone to invent a new product or service is extremely, extremely complex. That doesn't mean there's no room for it. Matter of fact, new companies, creations, and ideas are still being born. It's always possible, but I've realized it's a bit like reinventing the wheel. It's like having crazy, intuitive, wonderful ideas, but personally, it almost gives me anxiety to sit down and try to create something from scratch. I realize that with ChatGPT and various AIs, there are surely others with more capital, more time, and a larger workforce who can do it better than me if they aren't already. And that's where the second option comes in forcefully. It says, Giorgio, don't invent a product. Take one that already exists, but where you see a gap and improve it. Now, the problem with this is that taking a product that already works in a large niche and scaling it requires money, skills, and often a team. It's not a simple task, you follow me? It's more complex because you have to take a product with an existing market, convince that market yours is better, and then ensure the company that's been there for 10 years doesn't just copy you, use their workforce to make it even better, and beat you because they have more capital, experience, a known name, a brand, and established marketing. So you're looking to go and steal customers from companies that have maybe been there for many, many years. It's one thing if you're the bar downstairs and there's another bar there, but it's another thing if you want to go and create a product or service, go and invent something or improve something that already has value, significant global revenue, millions in turnover. You follow me? That can also give you a MOAT, right? A moat, a differentiating factor compared to the competition that can't be copied quickly. In short, it's not that simple to just take, improve, and put back on the market. But in general, I'd like you to reflect on today's complexity, becoming an inventor, becoming a startupper. I've met, I wouldn't say many, but a fair number of startuppers, and besides the great enthusiasm of obviously being the creator, being the founder, being the CEO and feeling applauded, the economic return is very risky, very low, and in most cases, absolutely zero. Great experience, but then you're left with very little. Let's look together then at the third way, the one that, thank God, I unconsciously chose practically from the beginning, which partially, indirectly includes the first two, but allows you to absolutely have practically zero risk and absolute scaling potential. And it's basically the skill for me of the 21st century. The third way is doing marketing for something that already works but isn't well known enough. So you're not putting a new product on the market, you're not improving an existing product, but you're branding it. You don't improve the product, you brand the product that's already there. And why is it the skill of the 21st century? Well, because today's world buys things based on the brand, the name, often not even the quality. Imagine how sad that is too, right? But people buy because they know it. Where there's attention, there's money. Look at social media. Where there's attention, there's money. And where there's money, it means there's real attention. I always teach people follow the money, where the money is going. Look at where the money goes. If the money goes there, there's attention. If government money goes there, there's attention there. Don't listen to people's words. There, it's the same on the other side. If you want to bring in money, bring attention, people need to know. And so more than ever today, it's easier to learn how to do marketing because the leverage is extremely high. Remember that there are businesses everywhere. In your fridge, there are businesses. Maybe when you look at a product, you say, This product is extraordinarily good, but why does nobody know it? Maybe there are niches that need light. Learn that's why, to create community, to create traffic, to make yourself known, to get attention, to become an interesting, attractive person, because attention becomes key. Now, you can do it as a person, or you can learn to create marketing for, well, companies, third-party companies. It's bringing something great to the market. Maybe why not? Even filling a market gap. So an inventing company that put in the money, the time, the creativity, the brains, and you put in the marketing part. And again, the marketing part is probably the most profitable part because it allows people to know something and pay for it. When there's attention, people pay. Where there's a payment, if the company is intelligently structured, there's lots and lots of money. Think about it. I hope I've given you a slightly different perspective, because in today's world, especially in Italy, we're still behind on marketing. I mean, there are extraordinary products, manufactured products, from people with a perfect touch, maybe watches, bags, maybe things that have a niche, an insane market. And unfortunately, people today only buy Invicta, Picadro, Moncler because they don't know that brand there. Think about it, and obviously be smart, because when you do marketing, you have to try to have as little risk as possible, potentially do it even without money. And these are skills that obviously need to be learned, and it has insane financial returns.